Hi, my friends, it's Miss Michelle. I am here in the Grand Church to show you about your materials for week 9. Last week it was so much fun. I had such a great time seeing all of you and working on the nativity scene craft with you. I hope you enjoyed it. It was really a lot of fun for me to put together and for us to do together, and it was great to see you all. If you still need a kit, if you weren't able to pick one up, I know a lot of families were in quarantine last week. I hope you're doing okay. If you need anything like candy or snacks, or if you need a kit of the materials to make your own nativity scene at home, please just let me know. Just shoot me an email and I'll be sure to get that to you. So I just want to show you what we have going on in church. You can see what this is. This is our Advent wreath here at the Grand. And do you see that? That is the purple part of the altar cloth. Okay, I'm going to try to lift my tripod up. And there's Jesus. And do you see all the purple around him? And look at this. Father's bench seat is purple velvet. Isn't that neat? Okay, so my friends who we have studied this before, what is purple the color for? Do you remember? Purple is the color of preparation. So we're getting ready for something, and I think that we all know what we're getting ready for. We're getting ready for the celebration of Christmas. And so that's why we have the purple. So if you have your Advent wreath from last year that we made at a family night, we lit the first candle yesterday. Yesterday was the first Sunday of Advent, and also the first Sunday of Advent is the first day of the new year in the church. So it's like Happy New Year, only in church, on the church calendar, and not on like the calendar that we use in public. So, or in regular life, or in common life. Okay, I guess, I don't know. Okay, anyway, so it's the first day of the liturgical new year in the church. Yay! Today is November 30th, so today is the feast of St. Andrew. He is the brother of Peter, who was the very first pope and who has a pretty illustrious career in the Gospels. Peter's one of my favorite characters. He wants to do all the things, but he gets ahead of himself a lot, and I can totally relate to St. Peter. But St. Andrew is whose feast day we celebrate today. He is the brother of St. Peter. Okay, so I wanted to show you the things that were in your bag of materials that you picked up last week. Okay, so we have table tents. Blessed Miguel Pro was from last week. So you'll notice that all of our Advent table tents have a purpley background. That's because we're in the color of purple. And then this is your table tent from this week, and our saint that we're featuring is St. Nicholas. His feast day is on December 6th. You know what? That's one of the answers on your table tent. Okay, so those are the 2 table tents that are in your packet. The other things that you have, there's this booklet here called Giving Thanks to God. This is a prayer service. So your assignment for this week is to complete this prayer service if you haven't already done so at home. And so this whole prayer service is thanks to Mrs. Vadney. She created this whole thing. And so there are different ways that you can participate, that moms and dads can work on this with you. And then we have what's called a Litany of Thanksgiving here at the end. My 5th grade friends really know very well what a litany is. A litany is a list of things that you're praying for, and you have the same response to all of those things. And so you say, for the love that God, our Heavenly Father, put into making us, fill our hearts with thanks. That's always what we say, fill our hearts with thanks. So I want you to complete this Thanksgiving prayer service as a family this week. This is your homework. So everyone will be doing that. I know that as we are getting towards the end of the calendar year in like December, I know that things get super busy. So I'm going to try to make sure that your homework assignments are reasonable and easy for you to complete. Okay, so all of that is for your homework for this week. Be sure that you're working on collecting or working on your table tents. I'm going to collect them because on December 21st, that's when we have our Christmas celebration. You'll be coming in person if you are able and if it is safe to do so. So you'll bring all of your table tents on that day. And then I actually have 2 prize drawings. I'll explain that in the email. Okay, so I'm just going to put these down. The last thing that I want you to do this week is I want you to play with the activity, or excuse me, the nativity scene that you made last week. So I'm going to read from this booklet that I made for you, and I'm going to show you how you're going to set up your nativity scene. So this is pretty self-explanatory. If you know what you're doing, you can turn this video off and you can do this on your own. But for my friends who maybe don't have parents who can help them, this would be a really great thing for you to keep watching. Okay, we have to move this. I got a new tablet, friends. So this, the tripod that I've been using and rubber banding my phone to, it works great now because I have a tablet. Okay, so what we're going to do is go through this booklet, and I'm going to show you how this will work. Okay, Family Nativity, a guide for teaching about the Nativity of our Lord Jesus Christ, by St. Francis of Assisi Parish. Okay, so when you're looking through this book, there are some instructions on this side. The words that you will read are the regular words, and the italic words are telling you what you should do with your pieces of your nativity scene. When my brother was little, he always called it the nativity scene an activity set because he liked playing with the figures. And he liked all the animals going to see baby Jesus. So I feel like this is our own version of my little brother's activity set. Okay, so inside my bag, I have all of the pieces that I made. I have Mary and the angel. I got a whole ton of sheep, shepherd, baby Jesus, St. Joseph. I know that's St. Joseph because he doesn't have a shepherd's hook. See, he's got a hook on him. That's for helping the sheep to stay out of the brambly bits. And then I got all my sheep here. Uh-oh, my sheep are running all over the place. This is why you have shepherds, because the sheep go everywhere. Okay, so now I'm going to see what the book says. It says, begin with an empty stable except for the manger. Okay, so this is the manger and the building is the stable. So I'm ready to put this here. Mary and Joseph should be far away from the stable and the shepherds should be in their field. So I'm going to actually put this here. The shepherds are in their field with their sheep. Mary and Joseph are far away. Let's put them, well, my little desk here is pretty small. And then it says the angel and star are behind the stable, hidden from view. There's my star. Put that back there. Okay. Also, it doesn't say this, but baby Jesus shouldn't be out. He hasn't been born yet. Okay. In those days, a decree went out from Caesar Augustus that the whole world should be enrolled. This was the first enrollment when Quirinius was governor of Syria. So all went to be enrolled, each to his own town. And Joseph too went up from Galilee, from the town of Nazareth to Judea, to the city of David that is called Bethlehem, because he was of the house and family of David, to be enrolled with Mary, his betrothed, who was with child. While they were there, the time came for her to have a child, and she gave birth to her firstborn son. She wrapped him in swaddling clothes and laid him in a manger because there was no room for them in the inn. Now there were shepherds in that region, living in the fields and keeping the night watch over their flock. The angel of the Lord appeared to them, and the glory of the Lord shone around them, and they were struck with great fear. The angel said to them, "Do not be afraid, for behold, I proclaim to you good news of great joy that will be for all the people. For today in the city of David, a Savior has been born for you, who is Messiah and Lord. And this will be a sign for you. You will find an infant wrapped in swaddling clothes and lying in a manger." And suddenly there was a multitude of the heavenly host with the angel, praising God and saying, "Glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace to those on whom his favor rests." When the angels went away from them to heaven, the shepherds said to one another, "Let us go then to Bethlehem to see this thing that has taken place, which the Lord has made known to us." Ah. So they went in haste and found Mary and Joseph and the infant lying in the manger. When they saw this, they made known the message that had been told them about this child. And Mary kept all these things, reflecting on them in her heart. Then the shepherds returned, glorifying and praising God for all they had heard and seen, just as it had been told to them. Ma. And that's how you can play with your nativity scene. There is more to the story. And even somebody mentioned this to me in class or last week when we were working on our projects. We don't have any of the wise men. And that's true, we don't. I'm hoping that maybe next year we can work on some wise men. And my dad suggested that we make them some camels too. So that's in the works. But the wise men don't come until the Epiphany, and that's quite a long time after the Feast of Christmas. But this is a way that you can start using, or this is a way you can start thinking about what actually Christmas is. I want you to notice a couple of things. Jesus wasn't born in a fancy house. He didn't have decorations and lights and all of the things that we have today. There was no Advent wreath because at that time everyone was still Jewish. And while they were waiting for the Messiah, they were waiting for Jesus, they thought the Messiah was going to come as a king who was going to lead them into battle and stuff. No one thought that Jesus would come as a lowly baby. And like Father Ben mentioned in his homily yesterday, that's kind of how God likes to work. He doesn't like to work in big, huge signs of, striking people with lightning if they've done wrong, or huge floods, except for that one, and okay, that's a bad example. Or like huge pillars of fire. That's not how we know that God is present. Just like in the Old Testament, there's a there's a passage about Elijah. And Elijah's looking for God, and there's this huge earthquake. God's not in the earthquake. And there's this huge windstorm, and God's not in the windstorm. And there's this thunderstorm, and God's not in any of these things. But after all of these things go away, Elijah's being so still and quiet, and there's a tiny whisper. And he knows that God is in the whisper. And so that's how God really likes to work. He doesn't like to work in big, huge signs of grandeur, showing his power, because he's so powerful, I think, that he could do all those things, but we would be desensitized to them as human beings. And so God likes to work in the smallest and the quietest and the humblest ways. And so Jesus was really born in a barn. That's what a stable is. It's where the animals live. And the manger that he's lying in, that's a trough, which is a place that animals eat out of. So it's really like a dish for food, like a huge dish. Like we're talking about like donkeys and horses and things. And if you've ever like been to a petting zoo or the zoo, or you've ever ridden horses or anything, you know that they're big animals and they've got to eat a lot of stuff. And they got to drink a lot of water. And a trough would have been a huge and dirty basin, because animals were licking food out of it. And like Father Jose said in his Christmas Eve homily last year, there would have been poop everywhere. Like, it's a barn where animals live. They don't know how to go to the bathroom. They don't flush the toilet. There were no toilets back in these days even, anyways. There would have been poop all around. But still, that's where God chose to be born as a human being, in a barn next to poop. And really, while that sounds disgusting, and you maybe think, Miss Michelle, why are you talking about poop so much? Well, it's probably because Father Jose did last year. No, just kidding. But I feel like that is what we have to put our hope in. And this week, as the first week of Advent, our candle represents hope. And our hope this week should be that no matter what our circumstances are, no matter how shabby our houses look, no matter what bad things we've done, so no matter how much poo-poo is in our hearts, no matter, there is nothing too bad or too icky or too smelly for God to not come. There's nothing that is greater than God's love and his mercy. Not anything we could have done. And I feel like that's something that we can really be hopeful for, because I don't know about you, but I oftentimes feel like, dang it, I suck today. And it can be a really hard feeling to know that, gee whiz, I just did not do my best. And I know that I didn't do my best. But we don't have to worry about those things, because we can ask for forgiveness. We can ask for the sacrament of reconciliation. And that's one of the ways that Jesus helps to clear out the poop from our lives. So no matter what troubles we're going through, no matter what suffering we're facing because of the COVID pandemic or illness or death of a loved one, it doesn't matter. We can turn that all over to Jesus, because that's what he came here for, to save us. So I want you to use your nativity scene this week, and I want you to pray through your Thanksgiving prayer service. And if there's anything I can pray for you about, please have your moms and dads send me an email so that I can be praying for all of you. I hope you guys have a great week. Next week, Monday, we will be having class really in person, because we'll be having Mass for the Feast of the Immaculate Conception. So that's really what's we're celebrating the fact that Mary, when that she was conceived without sin, that she was perfect from the moment that she was formed in her mother's womb. So we're celebrating the Blessed Mother. The only time we will hear the Gloria sung, that the words that we heard, glory to God in the highest, that the angel says to the shepherds, well, that's the only time we'll hear that song being sung until Christmas Eve. That is my favorite part of Mass, aside from Holy Communion. And so for me, that's like a big special day, because it's the only time we get to sing it before Christmas Eve. Also, I want you to take note of, on the back of your little booklet, all of the Christmas Eve masses. I will be at 1 o'clock at Waldo. I'll be at 4 o'clock at Marshall, and I will also be at 7:30 on Christmas Day, 7:30 in the morning. Yes, Miss Michelle is doing that at the Waldo site. So if you want to know where I am, that's where I will be. But try to find a mass time. We have added so many masses that I don't think that they'll be super full. That's all I have for you this week, friends. I hope you have a wonderful week. God bless you, and keep praying for an end to the pandemic. Bye-bye.